Thank you, sir. Hello, namaste, vanakkam, bonjour, and a pleasant day to one and all present here. On behalf of the PG and Research Department of Commerce Shift 1 of Petrosian College of Arts and Science, I take immense pleasure in welcoming you all to the 7-day International Professional Development Program, Day 1 of the PDP on Statistical Package for Social Sciences, SPSS. Everyone needs to develop in their profession, and so it's important to get enriched by attending professional development programs, as it allows an individual to expand their knowledge based on various areas of the subject. The more the professional development one undergoes, the more one will develop knowledge and an insight into the field one is looking to grow in. And as we begin this program, let's invoke God's blessings to help us to open our minds to today's session and be focused on our learning. I now invite our student coordinator from First MCOM, Ms. Masina, to lead us in prayer.
Prayer. Gracious God, our Heavenly Father, I submit this entire 7-day program unto thy feet. I submit the speaker for the day, the students, and all the other faculties who have gathered from various parts of the country. Fill us with your wisdom, understanding, knowledge, and may your light lead us through these 7 days. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Masina. Dear participants, I would like to congratulate all of you who are attending this PDP, as you have taken a step towards improving your skills and your knowledge in research. Today's session offers you a platform where you can train and inculcate the skills for data analysis using SPSS and discuss your queries on statistical requirement for research. With joyful hearts, here we are today to extend a warm welcome to you all. I now invite our scholar in research studies, Dr. Dorai Arasan Sir, Assistant Professor of Commerce, to welcome the gathering.
Good evening, everyone. It's my honor and a privilege to welcome you all for this 7-day International Professional Development Program in SPSS. At the outset, I extend my warm welcome to Reverend Brother Dr. S. Aribiraj, Director and Secretary, Dr. Fatima Vasant, Academic Director, Dr. Usha George, Principal, Dr. B. Meena, Vice Principal, Shift 1, Dr. Arogya Mary Geeta Das, Vice Principal, Shift 2, and Dr. D. Unica, Head of the Department, and my fellow faculty members. It is my pleasure to welcome our eminent resource person, Dr. V. Arun Murugan, Assistant Professor, Department of Commerce, Pondicherry University, who will be sharing his knowledge and vast experience on SPSS. I welcome all the participants from various institutions across the country today for this PDP. The aim of this 7-day international PDP on SPSS is to equip research knowledge and data analysis skills using SPSS with a blend of conceptual learning and a hands-on practical session. The main focus area of this PDP will be on identifying the right statistical tools and techniques for different research and carrying out data analysis using SPSS. I'm sure that you all will feel enriched with knowledge after completion of this event. I expect that the 7-day international PDP on SPSS will be productive and the next few hours will be enjoyable and fruitful learning experience to you all. Thank you once again. Welcome you all.
Thank you, sir. Every grand opening has a meaningful inauguration. So let's initiate this awesome professional development program with an inaugural address. I take the pleasure in welcoming a vibrant personality, a lady who encourages all professors to carry out research. I welcome our academic director, Dr. Fatima Vasant ma'am, to initiate the inauguration of this PDP.
Good afternoon, everyone. It gives me immense pleasure to take part in this program, the Commerce Department inaugural Professional Development Program. At the outset, let me congratulate the Department of Commerce, Dr. Unica, the HOD, and her team, and all the student organizers who have been behind to organize this 7-day international professional development program. I'm sure that all the participants who have registered are eagerly waiting to take the inputs from the resource persons who have been very carefully identified by the organizers. Indeed, I'm very happy that the department has selected a wonderful theme, a wonderful area, a subject for the workshop, because this is the need of the times. Today, we find that the research scholars who are eager to complete their research degree, they get stranded when it comes to analyzing their data. Personally, I have seen with my research scholars, they are very enthusiastic to join the research program, and they register, they complete the formalities, they go about with the selection of the topic, they are very comfortable with review of literature. But when it comes to the analysis of the data they have collected, they get really stranded and it becomes a major challenge to them. And this is where they get a gap and they need some assistance. So I'm happy that today the Commerce Department is organizing this workshop, and I'm sure that the topics that has been lined up and the resource persons that have been identified have been very beneficial, and you all are going to have a wonderful 7 days inputs. You got to really be very responsive and interactive, and do not feel shy to interact and clarify your doubts, because as I said, all the resource persons are well informed, well knowledgeable, and they are ready to share their knowledge, learning and experience with us. So let me congratulate all the participants who have registered. I understand that there's been an overwhelming response for registering for this program. It's been really wonderful and interesting to know that there have been so many registrations, touching nearly 1,000. And this shows that you are all eager to learn from knowledge, from new sharing. And I want to congratulate all you participants. So with these few words, let me once again appreciate the Department of Commerce, the student organizers, the team of faculty, the resource persons who have volunteered to share their knowledge, and all you participants. I hope you will have a very beneficial sessions. All the best to you. And I said that depending on the response, our college definitely we would like to organize many more programs of this nature. We look forward for your wonderful participation. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. I now invite Ms. Kamala Devi, ma'am, Assistant Professor of Commerce, to introduce our resource person for the day.
Thank you, Diana. A pleasant evening to one and all virtually gathered here. It is my pleasure and privilege to welcome our resource person of the day, Dr. V. Arulmurugan, Assistant Professor, Department of Commerce, and who is also the placement coordinator for the School of Management, Pondicherry University, Karaikal campus since 2009. He has completed his PhD in Commerce in the University of Madras. He has 18 years of teaching and research experience from University of Madras, Manoanmaniam Sundaranar University, and Pondicherry University. He has guided 14 pre-doctoral research scholars, 108 postgraduate students, and presently guided 1 research scholar. He is specialized in commerce, science, and research, especially in e-commerce, e-banking, SPSS, AMOS, Stata, eView, etc. He is also the coordinator for ICSSR, a major research project. He has also received 30 awards and recognitions, and also received the best teacher for 6 times from the Pondicherry University. Dr. Arulmurugan sir has received the best young social scientist award for the year 2020 from the Vice Chancellor of Manoanmaniam Sundaranar University. He also received Best NSS Program Officer Award for the year 2020 from District Collector of Pondicherry, and received many other prominent awards and recognitions. To epitomize, he is an inspirational and eminent speaker, writer, scientific researcher, data analyst, career counselor, and socio-technocrat. We are very glad to have such a magnificent and distinguished speaker. Now he is ready to share his knowledge with us. I extend my greatest wishes and congratulations to all the participants to use this PDP and get a maximum benefits for your career development. Welcome you, sir. Arulmurugan sir, welcome.
Thank you, ma'am. Dear participants, you can post your queries in the chat box after the session of Dr. Arulmurugan sir. A hearty welcome to you, sir. And our participants are eagerly waiting to be enlightened by you. The session is yours, sir.
Thanks a lot to Team Patrician College for inviting me, and also all the participants who are urged to learn data analytics. So with this note, and a special mention to Dr. Durai and his team for inviting again to the online event of Patrician College to reach the researchers, not only experienced, but also budding researchers throughout what you call it as India. And few programs what we did on data analytics projects and researchers reached to so many people through YouTube and other areas. And today we are going to concentrate on especially on data analytics with a software called as SPSS. That is the only thing which I want to tell you. And beyond that, most of the programs, wherever you come across the data analytics programs, normally in straight away they concentrate on data tools and as well as like statistical tools, how econometric tools, how it is handled on software. The only thing is that we want fruit, but the ultimate thing is that we need to know about the seed and how to seed it. So unless otherwise we know how the platform and how it can be done, we cannot get the results. So with this note, I do understand before I start my deliberation today, like I want to make it very clear to the participants across online. Point number one is that SPSS is a software. Everybody knows that there are n number of softwares which involves in data analytics. And depending on your convenience, depending on your need, ultimately you can choose the software as well as you can choose the data as well as the what you call it as the statistical tool or mathematical model, whatever it may be. But one thing I want to make it very clear that this session is going to be an introductory session. Everybody knows that because 7 days program, if you want to understand, if you want to learn much deeper about all those analytical tools, statistical tools for next, what you call it as 6 days, we need to very clearly understand the base of SPSS. So that is what I think the organizers have scheduled the introduction to SPSS at the first session. And one more thing is that I know that in the what you call as more than 550 participants have been in online. There are someone who may be what you call as amateur in learning SPSS, right? There is another group where they know statistics, but they may not know how to do that statistics in SPSS package. The third group is that already you know that you are conversant, maybe you want to fine tune. I still remember 15 years before, or maybe like 18 years before, when I want to learn the statistical packages. I attended 2 or 3 programs in the same program in one of the institutions like PSG Institute of Technology, Coimbatore, and Dr. Krishnaveni, Madam Ms. Professor was the one who made a point. So the thing is that what I mean to say is that you cannot learn. One more mindset we need to prepare for next 1 hour is that we cannot learn in and out of a SPSS package now. So as a resource person, as a person who has a little experience on this package, we want to give you a research oriented, a practical oriented. I'm not a person who can handle things on a theory, who can handle everything. So as a researcher, how I can use SPSS for my data analytics. This is what I'm going to make it today. If you have experienced, bear with us, you can also contribute. And this session is exclusively for those people who doesn't know what is SPSS, how to use SPSS for data analytics. Once you know today, probably the next 6 days, it will be easy for you to make an analysis of the tools which is listed in your brochure. So with this note, I will straight away go for my presentation. And I made it very clear. I know that there are experienced people in data analytics in this group, but we are concentrating to begin with everyone. Today, we are going to make everyone that what is SPSS, how you can understand that. Okay. So even if somebody doesn't know how to make an what you call as the analytics with the help of software, may have a, what you call it as happiness today that you are going to learn it. So with this note, I'm just sharing my screen. Can anyone acknowledge? Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, great. Thank you, Direct. So this is the only thing which we need to go ahead and probably like 3 things you need to understand. Like 5 minutes I'll take on that. Then I'll go with the SPSS package itself. Then I'll try to explain practically. So one, we need to understand what is scientific research. Hope I assume that everyone in this group know what is scientific research, whether you are from social science or whether you are from science. So or anything which we do systematically as per the global standard. So ultimately it is scientific research. There is a protocol for every discipline, every area that we do. And whenever we have a qualitative or quantitative data which you collect, maybe primarily from people or which is already collected, which is stored in the database, so which you can take it and you need to make an analysis. To analyze that, you need a software, and there are n number of list of softwares available. Today, we are exclusively going to, in this PDP, you are going to concentrate on SPSS alone. And before I get in, I just want to know where we normally use this analytical software in the research. So in my opinion, there are 10 steps. In a nutshell, I want to tell you those people who are new to research. Maybe I do understand some people will be pre-doctoral, doctoral research scholars. And probably if you have any queries, you can put it in the chat box. We'll come back and we can answer those things. So 10 steps, starting from identifying the research problem and going for a future research after completing your publications. The one area where we get is data analytics, once you collect the data. So probably if you attend any of the research methodology workshop, we can concentrate all those areas. And beyond that, in data analytics, there is a need for application of SPSS. That is what we need to understand. And why we need, for example, we have data, so much of data with us. So maybe if anybody is able to unmute and can you tell me how many what you call it as colors are there in this. Which color is more, which color is less? Is that possible? May not be. Like what I'm just moving on. For that, we go for sorting of things. So we go for sorting of any data based on certain criteria, based on certain judgment. So it is based on the color. Maybe now also it may be very difficult for us to say which one is high, which one is low, and how many colors are there. Probably then we try to arrange, and we may try to arrange, we arrange our own customized way. And finally, we just use a simple statistical tool called as bar chart, and we can easily understand that how many colors are there. So around what you call as 9 colors are there, and red is the topmost, and you have a ash, which is very less. So it's a simple mechanism that if you want to generalize anything, if you want to understand the data, if you want to find a pattern of the data, we normally go for data analytics, and we use a number of tools. Here, the simple tool which they have used is like sorting, arranging, and probably like visual. So maybe in the next course of time, you'll be using some more tools which you can easily understand how it can be incorporated in your research. And this slide probably will give you a backdrop that what we are going to learn. So as I told you that SPSS is one of the software. That's what we need to understand. SPSS alone is not a software. So there are n number of softwares for data analytics which I have listed. To start with, we started our analytics with MS Excel, and probably to make it very lucid, like MS Excel, SPSS is a little advanced of MS Excel, or a replica of MS Excel. A few features are getting changed. For example, we use mobile. There are different brands are available, but ultimately we save the contact, we call, we message, we take a video. So almost the features are more or less same, but the brands of the mobile phones are different, and its operations also different. Maybe switching on the phone button will be in the left side in some phone, in mobile phone in the right side. So SPSS, Amos, Lizrael, Visual PLS, GPower, Grittle, eViews. There are n number of MATLAB, Diagastate, SAS, R, Tableau, Python. So it has so many lists is there. But end of the day, so these are the analytics normally as a researcher we try to do in a primary data. For example, we want to tabulate our data, we want to chart the data. If you want to tabulate the chart, we call it as univariate tools. And in that, we use percentage analysis, mean score analysis, and ranking. Probably if you want to go for hypothesis testing, we use bivariate data. And probably if you want to find out the association, we use chi-square test. If you want to find out the difference between the groups on a variable, we try to use t-test, ANOVA. So test the hypothesis. And beyond the one variable, research thing, if you are having a third variable in your research, maybe normally research are not done with one variable, multiple variables when it comes to the high level research for publications or any projects or something. So in that case, like if you look in multivariate data tools we use, and when you use that, we have enormous statistical tools like reliability analysis, factor analysis, cluster analysis, discriminant analysis, correspondence analysis, multiple correlation, multiple regression. Probably like we have an intermittent variable or mediating or moderating variables, we have structural allocation modeling. If it is not linearly related, you go for non-linear data. So all these are little, when you come to those tools, the experts will explain you in course of time. So neural network analysis, which is very popular nowadays for a non-linear data, which I've used in my PhD. This is ultimately, if you want to use these tools for a normal research, for a high-level research, or quality research, or a publication in listed journals, reputed indexed journals, or CAR listed journals, ultimately you can use any of the what you call as packages here. But we are going to concentrate only on SPSS, and whatever I have listed in your what you call as statistical tools, everything except SIM. The other things can be done with SPSS. If you want to do SIM, it will be done with an alternative package called as SPSS Amos. And this is where the core. If you are new to SPSS, there are a number of packages come in. The advanced has come in. It is normally the company owned by is IBM SPSS software. SPSS is the first two statistical package for social sciences. Normally, this is for normally it is used for primary data. We call it as a cross-sectional data or panel data. It may not be used much for time series data. If you want to have a time series data, then we normally use econometrics. So that is what normally in social sciences we do. And most important thing which we need to understand is like whenever we use our mobile, right? So ultimately, like there are n number of ways to access. If you want to take a contact from mobile, there are n number of ways where you can directly go to the contact and you can pick up. If you have already called, you can go to the call register and pick up. You can select giving the any one of the what you call as the alphabet, and you can pick up the contact. So there are n number of ways. You can go to the WhatsApp and pick up the contact. You can go to the any other Telegram, you can pick up the contact. So there are n number of ways to do any operation in a system. The same way in software also, there is no one single path. Okay, there are different paths. But in SPSS, there are 3 different paths normally we have. One is called as usually Excel. I think most of you would have used Excel, right? So when you use Excel, it is more of customized driven. Like you need to feed the data, you need to take what you call as arrange the data, you need to select some of the statistical tools or any kind of arrangements that you have to make it. But in SPSS, it is almost like everything is programmed. Every statistical tool is programmed in SPSS. Simple. As we do it manually, instead of calculating a chi-square, a calculated value or table value, it has been programmed. So if you want to do a regression, X on Y or Y on X, or one variable on R, another variable on another, that means a dependent variable on independent variable on dependent. So whatever it may be. So it is like it is on menu based. So you can simply say that you go to this button, you go here and you click it, you get all those data. The other one is customized, because whenever, even in your mobile, I don't know how many of you really used all the options in a mobile. May not be. Hardly we use less than 50% of the mobile options which is available in a smartphone. In the same way in SPSS package, don't expect that today itself we'll be using all the options. So mostly like in every never done. So learn the basics today. But whenever you get into usage of or need of any tool to be used for your research objective, then you'll be knowing what are the things we need to select and use it. The other one is customized. In the sense, like even though it is menu based, some of the options you will be customizing it. So whatever things it is required from each algorithm or each program which you need to take it. And beyond, the other thing is that there is program based, like every formula or every model which is there in the SPSS package, which is oriented, syntax oriented. And even you can change, you can go to the syntax in the program line itself, you can change few things and you can run. For example, there is one thing called as MANOVA. So MANOVA cannot be directly run, we can run it, but there is one thing called as canonical correlation. There is an analysis. So each analysis has its own name. You cannot run directly in SPSS, whereby you need to go to MANOVA, change the what you call it as equations, then you can run canonical correlation. So like that it can be. So mostly we'll be learning menu based, customized and program based. You will be learning yourself in the future if you get conversant. And SPSS, like whenever you open, it is a data worksheet. Please understand, it's a data worksheet. In what you call it as in Excel, we'll have only one view, in the sense one screen view, and in that itself you'll be doing everything. You'll enter the data. The output also will be displayed in the Excel sheet itself. But in SPSS, we have 2 sheets, right? 2 sheets, 2 views will be there. One, we call it as a variable view, where we need to prepare a database of the data which we are going to analyze. And we need to name the data. And the second one is data view. After creating that, what you call as database of the variable view, you can enter the data and you can make it. So I think somebody is drawing in my PowerPoint. I think they started playing. Thank you. And there is another file which will generate, which is called as Kaushik. Thanks a lot. So it will generate output. So that means there will be, it is a worksheet, it's a workstation kind of thing, where there will be 2 files. One file is data worksheet, the another file is output file. And in the data worksheet, there will be 2 views. One is variable view and data view. I'll be showing all those with SPSS package. Okay. So this is what we need to understand. That means that you need to know the path of analysis. After defining the data, entering the data, checking the data, you need to know the path of analysis of the statistics which you are going to use it based on the need of your research objective. That's what important. And even when I seen the workshop like SPSS, see, SPSS is the data analytical software. That's all. It is meaningless unless otherwise the researcher connects those statistical tools and the data with the help of the relevance of your research objective and the title. That is more important. So you need to see everything through your research objective. Don't see from the angle of tool. I want to use multiple regression, so I will coin my objective. That should not be the intention. So please make in that way. We should go A to Z. It is not Z to A, right? So with this note, that's what the other slide which I want to show you. First, we need to understand our research need and objectives. What is our research need? Whether we want to find out the association between the presence of association between two variables, whether we want to find out the difference between two variables. That is the research variable which we call it as. Whether we want to understand the extent of the what you call as influence of these two variables. Whether we want to find out whether any group is influencing on certain variable, right? So presence, existence, then what extent, and whether it is influencing or not. So that is what we are, depending on that requirement only we need to go with that. So in that angle, once you open the package, we need to input the data. When you input the data, I told two. One is on variable view, another one is on the data which I will be showing. And the next one is that the next step is that SPSS analysis path. So please, whenever I am doing it, even in the rest of the 6 days, any experts are doing the analytics in their SPSS package, please make sure that you write like this in a paper or in a Word file. You see here, analyze. That means I'm going to select analyze / descriptive statistics / frequency. Then you get a dialog box. Then you do something there, give a OK. If you note down like this, it's called as SPSS analysis path. For every analysis, for example, if you want to run chi-square, there will be an analysis path. If you want to run ANOVA, there's an analysis path. If you want to run regression, there's an analysis path. If you want to write structural equation modeling, there's an analysis path. If you want to run correlation, there's an analysis path. So once you know that, then only you can do that. And once you give OK, after doing everything customizedly, whatever based on the need you selected, then output will be generated. Until then, it is easy. Feeding a data, going with the SPSS path to select a tool and giving OK is easy. You can simply chart out and you can do. After getting the output, the most important thing is that you need to have a understanding about interpreting that with the objective. You get a result and you will get enormous results. For example, you get so much of data into that, so much of information into that. You cannot take all the information and dump in your publication paper, or you can dump in your thesis. You have to take whatever data is required, whatever result statistical output is required, then we need to interpret that. That is where many people get lacking. So then you can put it in the report writing. So it's very clear now. Whenever you want to approach any statistical package, including SPSS, first we need to understand the research need. Then we need to understand the objective. And based on that, you need to collect the data. You need to input the data. Then you need to know for each statistical tools which you have decided with your expertise knowledge, connectivity. Then you have to use that path and you have to take an output. Then you have to interpret whatever it is required and you have to make it. Is it clear? Anyone can acknowledge? Then I can move on further with the SPSS sheet. Anyone can even put it in the chat box. Is it okay? Can I move on? Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, Zubair. Yeah. So we'll go with the case. Let us, as I told you, no, any analytics, you should not learn from statistical package here. You should learn from research. You have to go to the statistical package and the tools. Let us take a case. Already I used to use the same case for many workshops, but still I want to make it. See, because mostly you people are teachers or either students. So there is a one research case which I want to make it like student-teacher relationship in schools. So let us understand that we want to understand how a student has a relationship with a teacher in school level or in college level. Let us put it in anyway. So we can understand in two perspectives. If you want to understand this student-teacher relationship, either you can go to the student and ask, or you can go to the teacher and ask. So if you are asking teacher, they'll become your respondent. If you are going to ask the student, they'll become your respondent. Here we have gone into asking the respondents or teachers. So we have prepared a questionnaire with the what do you call it as expertized standard questionnaire by one of the educationists, and we used that, and we want to prepare a questionnaire. So you know that after knowing the research, you need to prepare a questionnaire. So once you prepare a questionnaire, then you go for a data collection. So when you can start using your SPSS, it is not that after the data collection, it is while your questionnaire is ready, your interview schedule is ready, right? That means when it will be ready, when you know you have defined your title, you have defined your objectives, then you prepare your data collection tool. Once that is ready, then immediately you can start using your SPSS package. There is no need to wait for collecting the data, because if you are going to have a sample of 300, 400 or 1000, collecting everything, having it as a mountain and entering the data will be very difficult. So then and there you collect, you feed the data. And even if you want to go for if you have a scaled data, then you need to go for checking its validity and reliability. In that case, you need to go for a pilot study, you need to enter, then you need to do a reliability analysis, and again you need to go for a final. Maybe in any data analytics workshops, you can learn how you can do reliability analysis. Anyway, so I'll just show you the questionnaire, and then we'll move on using the SPSS. That is how you need to make it. So I'm just going to show you a questionnaire. Is it visible? No?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Is this questionnaire is visible, my dear friends?
Yes, sir.
Because it's showing me some screen is shared.
Yes, sir. It is visible, sir.
Great, great. Thank you. So a study on student-teacher relationship in schools. Let us understand, we have prepared a questionnaire, right? We have age group, and we have divided into 3 levels. Like this is how we prepare, right? Most of you are researchers, you may know it. So age group, below 20 years, all those. Then sex, gender, male and female, education, 5 category, occupation 2 category, marital status 2 category, annual income 4 category, annual family income 3 category, locality, rural, urban and semi-urban, work experience of a teacher below 1 year, 1 to 3 years, and more than 2 years. And these are we call as unscaled data, and this is called as scaled data.
Sorry, sir. Sorry to interrupt. Sir, we can see only the PPT, sir.
That's what I was. Okay,
Sorry.
I will share it. I will share it.
Kindly minimize this.
Yeah, that's what. I think now it will be visible. Correct.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thanks, Ma. So maybe somebody like Durari, you need to acknowledge that way I can go ahead. Anyway, so this is where these are the questionnaire. I think again I repeat. So these are some of the variables we normally ask, right? Whenever you go for. So we are asking a teacher. So what is their age group, gender, education, occupation, marital status? I think somebody are raising their hands. Can you check it out? Maybe organizers can check it out. What is that problem? Is that it is linked to me? Then I'll answer. So annual income, annual family income, locality, work experience. Then these are we call as unscaled data. In general, we call it as, because it doesn't have a scale. So it's a kind of independent data. So unscaled data. This we normally call as a scaled data. So that means like it has a Likert scaling into this, right? So there are 15 statements in this. These 15 statements we call as 15 variables, or in research we call as 15 constructs. Okay, 15 variables we have taken it, and it is 5-point scale from strongly agree to strongly disagree. Maybe we start with 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That is what the scaling techniques which you can in depth understand it. So the first statement says that I share an affectionate, warm relationship with this child. What it means that whether a teacher agree or disagree. If they agree, it will be 5 points. Like that, 15 statements are given. So this is called as scaled data, and this is called as unscaled data. for general research. But there are something like, the basic statistics, if you want to go and understand the data, which is called as nominal data, ordinal data, interval data, and ratio. What is nominal? It is just a number. For example, sex, male and female. Male will be given 1, female may be given 2. Male will be given 0, female will be given 1. It doesn't mean that superior or inferior. It's just numbering, which we call as nominal data. So in this is a nominal data. And there is an ordinal. That means you can order them, right? For example, if they have a marks, then you can order them based on. Here we cannot order anything, right? Order them. And there is an interval data. For example, if you are collecting an age group, so below 20 years, 20, 40 years, above 40 years, we call it interval data. And normally we don't use ratio data, normally one on another. It's a proportion. And these also called as interval data, right? So usually what happens, you know that scaled data, which we call it as, which is mostly used for multivariate analysis. So with the small note of this, let us understand that this is a questionnaire which we are going to use. Okay. So with this questionnaire, what I told you, you need to now go with the SPSS. Once your questionnaire is ready preliminarily, then you need to go with SPSS package. So now I will tell you how to use this questionnaire in SPSS package and how to feed the data, how to collect the data, how to do analysis. This is what I think we need to know, right? So I'm just moving with package. Already I've installed, I have 20. You can have any version. So simple things will be different. So I'm just opening a SPSS file. It will take few seconds. Meanwhile, if you have any doubts, you can just post it. I think till now it is very clear. Now I'm going to show you practically. Kindly send the questionnaire to participants. Sure, Hemendra, like I can share, but now it may not be possible, right? Is it possible now to share the questionnaire? Surely it will be shared. So today we are learning the basic usage of SPSS, how to start through SPSS after with this background knowledge. So analytic, using the statistical tools, I think the next day, tomorrow you'll be learning each tool separately. I'm just waiting for it to open. I'm just checking out whether it is open. It's getting up. It's getting up. Right. Let me share and we can go ahead. It takes few seconds to start the SPSS package. Yeah. Is it visible? I think it's coming up. Dr. Durai, is it visible now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's opening. SPSS.
Sorry, it takes sometimes. Yeah, it's coming up. So, like you can install. Maybe you can learn from anyone. I don't know how to install it. So once you get your copy, you install in your system. Once you install in your system, there are different ways to start. Maybe you can go to Start menu and you can see an icon will be there. IBM SPSS, then from there you can start, or you can create a shortcut key, shortcut in the what you call as in the desktop, and also you can do so. I think too many I have opened. I have closed few. Okay. So now what is happening is once you open up, it will be looking like this for new people. Like here you have two options. Open an existing data source. Already, if you are, because if you are new, you cannot do that. So if you have already saved SPSS file, then you can open this. If not, what you have to do, Here, open another type of file. You can open even any other, not an what you call as data file, any other file you can open up. But here you can see type in data. Whenever you are going to open a new file, whenever you open it, this dialog box will be there. So you have to just type in data. Don't open it because we don't have an existing file, right? First time you are opening it. So it will be type in data. So just after that, please remember type in data and give OK. So now your file is ready on your desktop. So as I told you, there'll be two files. One file is this, you see, I told you now, one file is this. In that you have two views. And this is the variable view where you can see name, type, with decimals, label, values, missing, columns, align, measure, roll. This is what is called as variable view. I'll explain you now with the questionnaire how to do that. And this is a data view, okay, where you need to enter the data. Then only we can make an analysis, right? And once you enter all those, then you will get too many files just open. So now I have closed it. Okay, so now it is ready. The output file will come only when we start analyzing. It will not open now. Only SPSS data file will open, data work file will open, but we will not have, what is that? The output file. Output file will open only when after doing analysis over here, right? Okay. And now what is happening is like you can learn these are simple. It looks like what you call as things. And now maybe looking into your questionnaire, how to make it. For example, I'm going to do one thing, then you can understand. So now this is our questionnaire, right? This questionnaire has to be prepared as a database in that SPSS file. Is it okay? Right. Now let me take age group. So I'm going to go age group, go to the variable view, and here you need to type the one variable. Here you see in the questionnaire, how many variables are there? So here you have 9 variable, and this 10th question you have 15 variable. So 9 plus 15, 24 variable I have. In this single questionnaire, I have 24 variable. That means how I have to create? I have to create 24 variables. Then only database will be ready. Okay. So let me take age. So whenever you type name, it will not take any special character. It will not take any space. It should be a single word. Okay. So age group. So because to make it, I have just made it. So you can give enter. So you once you enter that name, variable name, then you find data comes out here. So what you need to do after creating it? So first what I'm doing, after completing my questionnaire, once the questionnaire is ready, I'm creating a database in the SPSS file in the variable view. While creating that, the first thing we need to do is we need to identify how many variables are there in our questionnaire. Then we need to take each variable and we have to create a variable base. And the first thing is that naming the variable. How to bring into variable? Naming the variable. And I told you how to name it. Sometimes what you can do, no, if you are well versed, you can just type Q1. That also possible. Why I'm saying here you see this question 1. Q1, if you are well versed, there is no need to type the variable name, but that is also possible. When you are getting well versed, you can do that. Now we'll have age group or age. Then what you have to do is you need to mention which type it is. Usually in our case, even though we have enormous like numeric, comma, dot, scientific notation, date, dollar, whether it is a currency, whether it is a string, right? But what we have to do is normally we have to keep it as a numeric in social sciences. In a primary data, we are going to enter only the numbers. Now that is what we need to have a numeric. And this is with, that means how many numbers you are going to. So don't bother about this. Let it be by default 8. And this is decimal. It is better always because after point how many, but we are going to use the whole number here. So ultimately full number. So ultimately there is no need of bothering here. You can make it as 0. That see, for doing everything there is a logic. I'm telling you the logic also. In some case they may not explain. And this is called as label. You can zoom it and see. It is called as label. This means what you know. You need to explain about this variable, where it will be displayed, when you want to create. After that, you will be tabulating your data. Na? On the table, that title will be there. Usually what we do, age group. Here you can use space, everything. Okay, age group wise classification of respondents. Like this, we can use it. Classification. Okay. Age group wise classification of respondents. So this will be the clarity. Here you have mentioned, but what we are going to do, here we are going to classify the age. So here you can mention elaborately, you can type, and this will become the title of the table when you go for analyzing, because you have to tabulate the data, right? And then most important, naming the variable, fixing the type of the variable, fixing the width and decimals, then labeling the variable. The next one most important is assigning the values. Now manually you need to assign. For example, here in the age group in the questionnaire, you can see how many labels are here. 3 labels are here. Below 20 years, 1 label. 20 to 40 years, another label. Above 40 years, another label. You can copy from here and you can paste it. That's not a bad. Like, so if you go and click here in the corner, you will get a dialog box. In that you can see value. So we need to assign. As a researcher, we need to assign. So I told you it's a nominal data. So simply you can give a number. We start with 1. So I'm using 1. 1 for what label? This one, below 20 years. So I'm just going to copy this. You can do this, or you can just type it there also. Choice is yours. Because already we have typed it, why unnecessarily we need to type over there. So I'm just copying it. Going back to this, the label I'm giving this. Below 20 years, that means value 1 I'm assigning for below 20 years. Then you should give add. That means 1 is equal to below 20 years. That means in the data, if anyone is below 20 years, I'm going to enter 1. That's the meaning. Number 2. So again, I'm going here, just showing, I'll show only 1 because want of time, it's almost 5. So basics surely we'll learn today. Enough time is there. So here for 2, you have entered 20 to 40 years. So I'm giving okay. It has gone. Now one more option is there, na 3. So 3, what is there? Above 40 years. So I'm just copying it here, pasting it again. You can type it, or if you have a questionnaire in Cyber, you can type it. Want of time, I'm copying it from the questionnaire. So add. Now you see what is happening. In the questionnaire, I've created a data. Age group below 20 years 1, I'm assigning the value. I am assigning the value researcher. 20 to 40 years 2, above 40 years 3. So once you go here, then once these options are, in some cases it will be 2, some cases it will be 3 label, some cases it will be 4. So fill everything, then you give okay. If you give that, now you can see that. If you click, it will be there. You can always, if you want, you can edit also. If you have wrongly done, you can remove, you can change, and you can come back. Okay. So it is given now. Missing, don't bother. Columns also don't bother. Usually alignment will be by default, it will be right. And measure, right? Usually leave it unknown. If you want, it's better always leave it scale, because here you see ordinal. If you know this data is ordinal, you can click ordinal. If this variable is nominal, you can click nominal. If it is scale, you can click scale. But in my opinion, to safer side, because scale is the highest data, what you call as degree of data, so you can simply give scale for everything. Don't bother about that. It will take it. Software will take it. That's not works. Okay. So it's whether it's an input data or output data. So that is what it is. This also don't bother. You can simply leave it as an input data, because we mostly use it as a input variable for any statistical tool. Okay. So I think I have created one variable. Once you created, you can go and see in the data view. Click here. You see the variable name has come. Here it is only var variable. Here I have defined. So it has come as a age group variable. Okay. Let us go like this. You have to prepare for all these. For sex, you have to prepare education. So this database, variable database, you have to prepare. Again, this also. And here you can convert this into one word as a variable, or you can say 10.1, 10.2, Q 10.1, Q 10.2. Like that also you can keep a variable. But in the label, you can copy all this. Okay. Now, let me go ahead with this. Now in this, you can see, for example, I'm entering the data. Here in the data view, these, see in the variable view, these are number of the variables, research variable. In the data view, these numbers are respondent number. For example, I'm giving to a teacher, they are filling it, they are giving to me. That is one, put it one on the questionnaire, and you have to fill everything here. For example, if that person is below 20 years, what's the number you remember? 1 I have given. Right? Even I can show this view, whether it is things or not, you can understand. Below 20 years, you can see here. You can see the label also in the screen. So it is 1. Right? So like this, you have to create for sex. Like this, you have to create for another questions. So this will be for this. Okay. One more thing. So these and all in the same day you can create. I'll pass on this questionnaire to you. You can practice. You can take any questionnaire and you can practice. And when it comes to this unscaled, you know that there are 5 options. Like this, you can create here and you can do in the variable view. You can do and you can match with here. Suppose how to create that database in the SPSS for this one. Let us understand it is question 10.1. Like this question 10.15. So what I do here is, let me go here 9, 10, right? So question 10, okay, point 1. So first question I have given instead of that. So not here, sorry. The variable view, the 10th question, I have just given it here. Okay, by default it will, but we have to make it. So 10.1, that is the first variable in this, because this is scaled data. I want to show you how you can assign the value. There's a little difference. It is not number, because it's a what you call a scaled data. Here the value has to be assigned. Now, so for strongly agree, how I'm going to do, you see. So again, this decimal, you can make it 0. And label, what you have to do is, you have to copy the entire construct. Just copy and paste it. You have to construct entire. You see the entire statement has come in. Okay. And assigning the value, you have to see here. And for strongly agree, as per the statistical norms, it is 5. So here it is 5 means strongly agree. So I'll just copy this and paste it over there. I can type, but still not of time. So strongly agree should not be 1. Strongly agree should be given 5 its value. Right? Then 4. 4 for what? 4 for agree. I'll show you 1, then we can move on for it. Agree. Then 3 for neutral. The value 3 is given for neutral. So I'm just going to add. So 3, it is neutral. Then I'm going to have 2 for disagree. Disagree is. Then strongly disagree is 1. I think all these basics, you know it. If you have any doubts, you can put in the chat box or I'll come and answer you. So strongly disagree. So once it is ready, you see here. For strongly agree, I have given 5. For strongly disagree, I have given 1. So it will rearrange itself. But there we have to put the value. So now I'm giving OK. Done. And one more thing you can do. Shortcut way is there. So for example, Q 10.2 for the second statement. I'm just talking about the second statement. What I can do, if upset, this child will seek comfort from me. So I'll go there. I'll put it here. Okay. So you may worry, sir, whether I need to assign the value again like this. I have to go like this and I have to do Again, you have to create, no need. If it is repetitive, simple, click your right click, copy, click your right click, paste it. It will automatically come. For that means that 15 variables, you can just copy this. There is no need to worry. That's a shortcut. So I think once it is ready, then you have to enter the data. You can see here. So if somebody has given highly agree, then you have to enter 5. For the second statement, that first respondent has given what you call as agree, then you can write 4. So hope you got how to create a database and how to enter the data. Is it clear? Any doubts on this? Can you put it in the chat box? If it is clear, then I will already have entered and everything is there. Yes, sir. Right. So thanks a lot. So now what I'm going to do is, already I have prepared a file, data set, capturing all this. So I'm going to open now. Now I told you, because in many workshops or many programs, training programs, what they do, you know, they directly show the data file and they'll start doing. After attending the program, we'll go and sit in the home and we may not know how to enter the data. I think now it's clear. I think now it's clear. So you know how to create a variable based on your questionnaire and how to assign the values and then how to enter the data. Okay. So I'm closing this file and I'm going to open my data file. That means after doing all this, after completing all these 24 variables, I have a ready-made file which I have done it. Okay. After collecting the data from 30 people. Okay. I'm moving on to that now. So I have a data set. So that means that after doing that, I have saved it as a .sav file, and then it is there. For example, I'll show you the saving also if somebody is not aware. So after completing that, just give a save as. Go to the file, give save as. First time when you do that, you know that. That's what you do. And here you can give like PDP. I'm just giving PDP. And here you see .sav like Excel, .doc, .docx, .ppt, like that. SPSS file will be saved like this. So what you can do, you can save it. I'm going to save it in my own what you call as the program file, webinar. This is my 79th program in this lockdown. So I've just saved it. So now I have sourced the space and I'm just saving it. So I can show you here. So it will be saved like this. You can see here. This is PDP. Just now I shown not PDP. It is saved here. Like this, it will be SPSS file will look like this. Okay. Now I'm opening the another file. In the sense like what, after completing this process, 24 questionnaire, everything I've made it, I've entered the data. I think now you understood how to create it, right? This is more important for any beginner. So I'm just opening this. It will take a few seconds. Okay. Now you see, are you able to see this file? Fully prepared file?
Yes, sir.
Now you see there I have put age group. Here I have created age. Again, you see age group, all the values are assigned. So 9 variables: sex, education, occupation, marital status, income, family income, locality, work experience. We have got it. And here, instead of putting that, I have just given you variable 1, variable 2, like that, 15 variables and all those. And here you can see I have assigned the same way: strongly agree, strongly disagree. So now you can compare your questionnaire here. So your questionnaire is with 10 plus 15, 24 variables. Now I have prepared 24 variables. You see 24 variables. So after creating this, you have to enter the data. Now I have entered the data also. So how to enter the data? That's also one thing. You have to enter the data horizontally, because here only all those 24 variables will be there: age, sex, education, like that. In the column, in the row, it is only respondents. For example, if you are getting from one respondent, one teacher, then you have to answer all the questions here. For age 2, that means what is the meaning? If you really observe the questionnaire, if it is 2, that means it is 20 to 40 years. Sex, if it is 1, that means it is male. Education 4, occupation 1, marital status 1, married. So like that, we need to enter. So if you press tab, for example, you enter here and it is easy. You put tab, it will go, you can enter the data. Like this you have to. So again, once the data is over, second it will come to the second line. So what you do is, after collecting the questionnaire, before collecting the questionnaire, you create this variable view. Everything will be ready. Once you collect the first questionnaire, in the night itself, for example, today you are collecting 20 questionnaires in your research. Enter all the 20 questionnaires today. Tomorrow you collect another 20, enter. So while collecting itself, you can enter the data. But mostly what people do, they collect, then they'll sit and enter, 300, how it is possible? It will be very difficult. Now, once you know these basics, you can enter yourself. Okay, so now the data file is ready. This is how the basics. From here only the analytics starts. The basic analysis, what we do is, we want to find out whether there is any mistake, missing values in the data. For example, I'll show you. Before that, here there is no missing value because I have created, but still I'll show you an example. A simplest analysis, what we do is, we want to go for a percentage analysis, frequency analysis of this data. Now, variable is created, data is there. Now you need to see the output file, right? Finally, so I'm just going there. I'm going to show you the SPSS path. Now I'm telling you the SPSS path. Why it's not moving here? Okay, I've just moved on. Okay, now you see in this data file, my dear friends.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, 1 second. Just come down. So in this data file, you can see file, edit, view, data, transform, analyze. After entering everything, now we are ready for analysis. And we need to verify the data also. Right? For example, I'm just for your sake, I'm just leaving this data. Remember, it is 2. I've deleted because to show you if this kind of missing data is there, how to rectify it. So analyze. Now only you have to note down. I'm just doing the preliminary analysis. I'm doing and going for descriptive statistics. So analyze / descriptive statistics, frequency, because we want the numbers. How many male, how many female, how many were in age group, what is their percentage, that we want to know. That's a simple percentage analysis we are making it. So just I'm giving frequency. If you click here, again I'm repeating, analyze, descriptive statistics and frequency. You will get a dialog box. And one more thing is that scaled data should not be done percentage analysis, but verifying you can do. So this is our cooking pan. For example, if you are in kitchen, no, everything will be in the shelf, but you cannot put everything available in the shelf and fridge into the cooking pan. For example, if you want to have what you call as some chicken fry or the paneer fry, you will only use chicken, you will only use paneer, you will only use oil, you will only use onion. You don't use any other thing on that, right? What is required? The same way, everything is available. You can put it, these are cooking pan variables. You can put it, then these statistical tools are available, you can use it. Simple. But to begin with, to beginners, tomorrow and day after tomorrow, you will be learning what you have to select and put it, why you are doing it, for what tools. All those you will be learning. So I'm just giving Control A. I'm selecting everything. I'm just moving it to my pan. I want to analyze everything, percentage. So you see everything is moved to the pan. And now, simple, I don't want to go to any statistics. I just want to check, right? What is the percentage of this? How many people, how many percentage? Just give OK. Now you see an output file has come. An output file has come, right? You can see here. First, you have to check it horizontally. This is an output file, my dear friends. Output document. So here you can find 2 files. You see a case study data file. The other one is output file. Here only we will be seeing. So age group of the respondent value 29. So that means one is missing. We have collected from 30 sample, all other as 30, right? That means there is missing one, which I will correct it. So here you can check it by moving here. You can check there is no missing value. If there is a missing value, then we have to correct and come back. And again, we can check it in the vertical also. For example, here you see below 20 years, 5 people out of 30. 20 to 40 years, 20 people out of 30. Above 40 years, 4. But total is only 29. So that means one value is missing. That means we have to identify that missing value and we have to enter. I'll show you how. Then this is the percentage. These two, this is not required. 16.7% below 20 years, 66.7%, but it is a missing value. We'll go to the next one. Male is 21, that is 70%. Female is 9, 30%. Like this, you can check. If there is a missing value, you will get missing. Otherwise, you will not get it here. So it is good. I'm checking all the 24 variables. No missing value, no missing value, no missing value, no missing value, no missing value. Only missing value is this. So once you identify the missing value, you know that which one is missing. In the age group, it is missing. So then we have to go to the data. You go to the data and that it is missing. Don't enter about your choice. Go and physically see the questionnaire and see which was ticked. It was 2. So I'm just giving 2. Then save the data. Again, we have to run the same analysis because missing data was there. No? So fill all the missing data. Then we have to go analyze descriptive statistics, frequency, and everything is like reset if you want. Again, control A, put it on the pan for chicken or paneer, and then you give OK. Now you understand. See, there is no missing value here. 29 it was. Here it was 30. No missing here. Now your data is ready. So simple analysis which you can do. For example, this you can transfer to a Word file. This you can cut. You can export this file and you can have it. For example, that also you can do. If you want to take all this table to a Word file for reporting, so you can export. You can export this or you can take it. For example, I'll show you how to export this data. So already this file is there. Na? So we will delete the first one because that was wrong. So we will delete the first one. You can simply select this frequency. Then if you give cut, it will be over. It will get removed from the things. So now you see this is a second part, right, which is corrected one. So we can take it, we can export. So go to file. There is an option called as export. Okay, you can save the data file also. If you want to take it in a Word file, how to take SPS output in a Word file. So what we have done, enter the data, created a database, enter the data, made a simple percentage analysis, and now an output in SPSS we have, you can save that also, or you can export. Just give export, you will get a dialog box. So here you want to export as a Word. You want to export all? Yeah, okay, all. So where you want to save it? So just browse it here. Where you want to give a file. So result. For example, result PDP. Okay. So again, I'm saving it in the same file which I'm using it. In R79. So I'm going to save it here, PDP result. So now automatically if you give, so one, you have to verify here file name and where the location you have to share, and I just give OK. You see processing is taking. So within few seconds, SPSS file has been saved as Word file. You can see here result PDP. You can see here. So whatever was there, it is coming here. So now you leave all these basics and this table we want, frequency table we want. Right? So age group of the respondents. So what we do here, instead of frequency table, we normally make it as 1, Control C, and I will make it here. This is a title, age group of the respondents. So I got it. And this is table. So this is a title. Here I can give table 1.1. So the chapter is 1. It is ready. Now the data is ready. Now you can, in one page, what you can do, you can remove this to the next page. And this page remaining, you can, all these you can delete it. There is unwanted, so you can delete it. You can bring it as a report. Now we are making it as a report. So now the title is given, now the table name is given, now everything is given, and it can be selected and pasted in the center. Now you can start write table 1.1, right? States that, what it is stating, that age group of the respondents This is how you need to write the interpretation. And in this you have to write which is highest, 70% of the 70% of the respondents belongs to blah blah blah. You can write. So this is how. And one more thing I want to show you. If you want to have a chart for this, you can also make it simple. Only option is that you have to go, if you want to see only data table, it's ready. Now I have exported to Word file. And if you want to have a chart, go analyze, descriptive, frequency. And the only thing you have to do is click chart. Click chart. So if you want a bar chart, you can give bar chart. It should not be in frequency. Chart, many people make a mistake. Don't do it in the frequency, do it in the percentage. And continue. Then you will find the chart. Now you see. It will take some time. It's taking, because charts, it has to come in. So you'll be having it. Take some time. Why it's taking too much time? Yeah, it's getting processed. Now you see, it is fast because 24 variable, it is making the chart. Now you see. Either you can export or you can do what you know, you can select this, just copy it, just paste it in your report Word file. So here you can just put it here. It is bigger one, na? So you can reduce it if you want. So ready. Chart is also ready now. So you can do the place, you can make it still this table also. You can splash it to the thing. Okay. Now you see there is also center. This you can make it as center. So now you see age group of the respondent. So first table, age group of the respondent. So you write here on the top, analysis on student teacher relationship. So you give a chapter name for this, analysis on student teacher relationship, and you give a title, table has come in, chart has come in, interpretation. Like this you can make it. Okay. So what I've done is, like with the help of these SPSS, I told you very basics. What I've did is, after preparing a questionnaire, open a SPSS file after installing in your computer, system, laptop, then create this variable view and put all this based on, as I told you, how to create a what you call as a database in the SPSS with the variable view. Once it is ready, and the second step is you need to go and enter the data. Once the data is ready, you have to go for analysis. Preliminary, we do percentage analysis, mean score analysis, you can scale the data, right? Then we do that, and we can export the Word. From the Word, you can put it in the report. These are the basics. Now, what will happen if you are going to do chi-square test? How you will be doing with the data? If you are going to do ANOVA, how you will be doing it? If you are going to do correlation, how they will be doing it? If you are going to do regression, how they will be doing it? Now that is what from here you need to learn. So now you know how to enter the data, how to get ready with the data, and how to analyze the data. From tomorrow, the experts will tell you how each analysis, how they are going to do. Okay. So with this note, let me 5 more minutes, 6 more minutes to go. Right. So with this, the data analytics, once this basic is ready with you, this knowledge is ready, and mostly what happens, you know, they will do a number of things. I have struggled really. I went to many workshops, 2 to 3 workshops, but I after coming out, I was struggling how to create a data file with the SPSS. Only with the ready-made file, I can do analysis with that link and all, whatever path they have given. But I was when I want to start my PhD, collect the data and enter, I was not aware. For that, I again went to one workshop. Luckily, thanks to Professor Krishnaveni Madam, who was the Dr. Vivek, who was there in PhD Tech Coimbatore. They had a workshop kind of like this, how I have explained. Then only I understood, okay, we have to learn this. Without learning the seed, we are only working on the fruit. So entire analytics, now you have a univariate tools, bivariate tools and multivariate tools. From tomorrow, I think all these three type of tools are going to be covered, where based on the need, you can always work on. So with this note, let me take you, like if you want to be a good researcher, you have to do all this: typing, formatting, online material collection, data collection and analytics. Most of us, we do everything, but we don't do analytics. It's a very simple. Today, I think you would have understood how simple it is. But without knowing this, we go and spend huge money with statistician, huge money with data analysts who charge huge money unethically, and we spoil the future generation also. Once as a guide, if you are a scholar, if you do yourself, when you become a guide, you can educate your scholar. Today, the problem is most openly, I'm telling you, most of the guides are unable to have it. So that is where this problem comes in. So we can always go ahead. So you need to go for everything, whatever it is. Get help from others and do it by yourself. That's the only thing which, if you want to be ethically doing it, we have to learn. As a researcher, as a guide, we need to learn. It's not that we complete our PhD. That's different. Today, we need publications. For that, good analytical skill is required. So we need to have our H-index. For that, we need to publish in leading reputed journals. So if you want to discover more, please go to this material by Andy Field, Discovering Statistics Using IBM SPSS Statistics, which will be very handy for you. And this is my YouTube channel, Dr. B. Arulmurugan. Thank God the first video professionally I have made it with Patrician College. Today I started in the first lockdown. And I think this is the third program for Patrician College, and now I am in the 79th program online. And there are so much of analytical videos are there. Any participants can access. So just go Dr. B. Arulmurugan, just you type it, you get your what you call as this YouTube channel, and you can subscribe it. I request you to subscribe it. Probably like that will give you more energy for me to put up so many videos. There are so many analytical videos are available. Total SPSS, the entire workshop, what you are doing, that videos which I have done, all the analysis is available, which you can always go ahead. It will be very simple learning and user friendly. I think today you would have understood how simply I have made it, because most of the analytical things they are making more complicated, but it's very easy. It's very easy. So with this note, I think I have made justified with the given 1 hour 15 minutes. Maybe this is a starting point. In the next 6 days, I know each resource person personally. I know all the resource person personally. I should thank the team Patrician for bringing everyone in one platform. Everybody equally, like in all those areas. And nice to see that my name is also in that list. So thanks a lot for that, because my own colleague is there. My own friend is there in that list. My own teacher is there. That's a BCom teacher is there. My own fellow researcher is there. I'm just like looking in. Everybody is known to me. So you will have a very wonderful time. This is the starting point. With this note, you can always go ahead. Over to you, madam. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for giving us a clear insight into the use of SPSS. And my dear participants, we move into the next segment of our program, which is the Q&A session. And I request our coordinator of the program, Dr. Durai Arasan, to raise the questions posted by the participants in the chat box. Over to you, Durai, sir.
Thank you, Tiana. So question from Niranjana: how to do reliability and validity tests?
Okay, so that is what we need a separate at least 1 hour session for that. Hope you know it. It's very simple. From this 15 variables, you can do reliability test with the help of SPSS. Maybe like in the future, you can attend some of the programs where you can learn it. because it's very easy. Because if you're asking how to do it, today the organizers are scheduled to make us understand how to get ready with the SPSS package. That is what we try to do. Now, my humble request is that now I cannot do everything now with the SPSS and show you each analysis, like mean score, ranking, reliability analysis, then chi-square, ANOVA, t-test, right? So regression, multiple regression, all those, I think the session is there tomorrow. They will try to tell you all those. Okay.
So next question, Dr. Badhu Shah. How to structure the variables with factor name? How to structure the variables with factor name?
Factor? Can you repeat?
Name. Yes, sir.
No, that's very simple. Now you know the construct. You have to have only one word as a variable name. So that choice is yours. That's what I mean to say, that you can have a word or variable name, or you can even question it. Q1, Q2. If you are well versed, if you are good at that, you can always do that. That's not an issue.
Next question from Satish. Is there any restriction in preparing the questionnaire, like the number of questions to be put?
Can you repeat Durai again?
Is there any restrictions in preparing the questionnaire, like the number of questions to be put?
No, it's not that. It's always a choice of the researcher to decide. The number of questions, in my opinion, it is totally based on the what you call it as researchers' exploration of the research. That's what I mean to say. So it's all depends on your objective. It's all depends on your questioning, research questions, and how it is to be done. There is no restriction for that.
Thank you, sir. So question from Muthulashmi. Can you say any examples for ratio scale?
Any
examples for ratio scale?
Any examples for ratio scale? Like whatever we normally use it in finance, like 1:1, 1:2, 1:3, like that. For example, current ratio, 1:1 is a standard. So if we have a current ratio data and what you call as current assets and liability data, then we can go ahead and we can do it. That is what. And mostly ratios are not used in research. We normally use nominal, ordinal, and interval scale rather than ratio scale.
Thank you, sir. So the next question from Sibraj. How to analyze if age is open-ended question?
That is where, like, see, you can collect the age open-ended. Again, you need to put it in Excel. You have to convert as an interval and you have to bring it here. If you have a open-ended questions like each individual age, it's meaningless. Unless otherwise we group them, it is meaningless. So it is better, rather than collecting individual age, it is always better to go with collecting with the interval data. That's my opinion.
Thank you, sir. The question from Kokila. Instead of filling variable from variable view, can we import data directly from Excel sheet?
We can do so. That's not an issue. From that, if you are having it in Excel format, you can bring it. After bringing it in SPSS, then again we need to create a variable. That's a problem. So once you have a sophisticated worksheet with us like SPSS, why you want to enter everything in Excel and bring it? So my humble thing is that if you are going to bring it, then again we have to, it will be only data view only we will get it. For variable view, again you have to rewrite all those variable views, then only it will be easy for you to make an analysis in SPSS. It's a reverse way. Directly, if you want to enter, create a variable view, then you go for a data. If you are importing from Excel file, then again you have to go and create the variable view. Then only it will be good. Then only it will be easily analyzable. Maybe these things you will understand in the next 6 days. Whatever I'm telling you now. Today you may not experience. Once you start working with the data, you will experience.
Thank you, sir. Sir, I think this answer, I think, is same to this question. How do we import data directly from the Excel sheet in SPSS?
No, that's what, it's very simple. Maybe tomorrow or day after tomorrow, because one of time I'm not showing. Tomorrow or day after tomorrow, somebody will surely import the data from Excel file and they will run. So you will come to know that. Wait for it.
Thank you, sir. So the next question is from Aditi. While entering variable data in the measure column, how to decide the type? scale, nominal, and ordinal?
That's what, no, like in the earlier version, it was difficult. And as a data entry, what you call as a researcher, we need to define it. Now, don't worry. The recent advance, like about 20 SPSS, you just simply select scale. It will select based on the data. So don't worry about that.
Thank you, sir. So the next question is from Deepa. What is the scaling point like 5, 7 for the research?
What is that?
Scaling point.
Hmm.
Scaling point like 5, 7 for research.
No, it's like 3-point scale, 5-point scale, 7-point scale, 9-point scale, 11-point scale. It's all like expression of the data you are going to collect. For example, there is a 3-point scale, very high, high, low. It depends on the researcher to gauge whether you are going to get only the any of the 3 responses of the respondents or 5. Usually use 5-point scale. That is what the popular in social sciences.
So the next question from Venkateshwar. Majority of researchers are saying that 3-point scaling is not good for research.
No, we cannot say that. We cannot say that. See, again, what do you call it as the number of labels in a scale, right? That interval, it depends on the objective. If you are going to find out 5 points, then it is 5. If you are going to find out what you call it as 3, it is choice is yours. For that, I will refer one book like Marketing Research, Methods and Measurement by Tull and Hawkins. There is one chapter called as Questionnaire Development, 50 pages. If you read that, you will get more idea. There is a separate session I do on scaling. Maybe if you have a time or following me, you can attend those in the future, whereby I can explain you much on it. Yeah, Durai.
Thank you, sir. The next question from Anjana. Is it necessary to give variable code like Q1, Q2, Q3?
That's what I'm saying. No, see, it's for us, it is very difficult. Like when we give the variable name, if the lengthy statements are there, it will be very difficult to coin. Why unnecessarily we need to waste? So if you are good at, if you are a very good researcher, if you understand your questionnaire very clearly, it's better you go with the question number itself. Because by the time you know that most of the research, even I had more than 300 variables. I just given Q1, Q2, Q3, Q300. Right? So you can easily understand that by making analysis, you will come to know. But that's the easiest way. Rather than giving a variable name, that doesn't make any sense. You can give a question number also, but it will never accept the numbers as the first one, like 1, 2, it will not accept. Alphabet only, alphanumeric only, it will accept.
Thank you, sir. So the next question from Deepa. Whether reliability have to be done for both independent and dependent variable?
Rather than saying like that, if you have a scale, you need to check the reliability. Whether you have an independent data-based scale or dependent variable data-based scale. If it is a scaled data, the reliability and content analysis, content validity and reliability analysis has to be done before you go for the mainstream.
So I think this is a simple question, Dr. J. Chitra. How to get SPSS software?
Actually, it's a paid one. You need to buy, no other go, or you need to use from any of the institutional purchase. And maybe there is a trial version available. So if you go to SPSS package, IBM website, there's a trial version available. You can always get the trial version and you can use it. It's always, we cannot encourage buy-rated versions. It's always you need to purchase.
Thank you, sir. The question from Ina. Can you explain ranking method?
That's what, no, see, now we have, with a given time, we have explained how to kickstart analytics with SPSS package. Those things are the second level, whereby you can simply, that is actually simple. If you have a scaled data, you can select, go for a mean score and arrange the mean score and then rank it. That's a simple thing.
Sir, thank you, sir. The questions from Dr. P. Balaji. What are the consequences of using SPSS with unauthorized usage license? In the bracket that was mentioned, pirated version.
I'm not a technical person to answer. Probably you need to get it from the IBM Bangalore regional office. Probably they'll answer you.
Thank you, sir. So the question from Ushain, how to establish construct validity of a scale?
Rather than using SPSS, it can be done manually, in my opinion. So if you have a scale, prepare it in yes or no type option, make 3 copies, give it to 3 experts, and they will, if all 3 chooses yes, then you can select the variable. If they say no, you can reject the variable. Maybe you need an extra hour to explain that. So maybe you can find some other workshops of mine where, and the same thing I have explained in my video. So look, whatever questions you people are asking, there are 2 videos which you see for 3 hours, then you'll come to know, you'll come to understand easily.
Thank you, sir. So next question from Dr. Ponsa Nagalingam. What is exact criteria to know the good reliability? Can you please explain?
Sir, again, like, see, you are jumping into these things will be explained in future resource persons. I don't want to get into that part. I'm restricting myself with this what you call as introductory part. Then because tomorrow they'll have their own version, so you can wait for that. That's the only thing which I want to tell you. Durai,
Yes, sir.
actually, like these questions, like some questions are which they can get answer in next 6 days.
Exactly, sir. Exactly.
So
Yes, sir.
I request the participants to wait for that. Now, I think if you are able to understand and if you feel good that I can do SPSS, that is the best answer that we were expecting from you. I think that will happen, I suppose. Looking into all the feedbacks in the chat box, that so many people have given a positive note that it was clearly understood. So with this base, attend the next 6 days, I think you'll prize the organizers. We'll move on.
Sir, the last question, sir, from
Yeah.
Krish. Does reliability test is necessary?
In my opinion, it is compulsory for scale the data. As a scientific researcher, I always say that check the reliability. Maybe I'll take 1 minute time extra. Like unless otherwise you know, whatever as a researcher you draft, is that really reached to the respondents? How do you identify? Reliable. That means what? Whatever you are thinking and you expected from a respondent, whether the respondent is also thinking in your way, that we will get it from reliability. That is why reliability test is must for any scaled data, in my opinion. And if you go to any leading, reputed publishers, they will surely ask you what is your reliability score for the scale. If it is more than 0.7, then only they'll proceed for examining your paper. Otherwise, straight away they are rejecting the paper. For example, I'm telling you in the publication.
So thank you so much for your beautiful answers, sir. Thank you for your accepting, sir. Now the session hand over to Tiana. Take care, please.
Thank you, Duresa. Here we are at the rear end of our program, dear participants. Every day, there will be a feedback link which will be posted in the chat box at the end of the session. And I request all the participants to please fill in the feedback form on daily basis for these 7 days. And after the 7 days, you will receive your certificate. So don't forget to fill in the feedback form every day. Now it's time to be grateful for all this day had to offer us. I now welcome our Assistant Professor of Commerce, Ms. T. Vaidegi ma'am, to render the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Tiana. Good evening, all. On behalf of Postgraduate and Research Department of Commerce, it is my proud privilege to propose vote of thanks. First and foremost, I thank God Almighty for His blessings. My sincere to our resource person, thanks to resource person, Dr. V. Arumurugan, for his wonderful eye-opener session on Introduction SPSS Analysis. Thank you, sir, for your hands-on experience session to all of us. I extend my gratitude to our Director and Secretary, Reverend Brother Dr. Arukya Raj, Academic Director Dr. Fatima Vasan, Principal Dr. Usha Jaj, Vice Principals Dr. Meena, Dr. Arukya Mary Geeta Das, for their constant support and guidance. Special thanks to Dr. Durai Arasan, Program Coordinator, for welcome address. Special thanks to Professor Kamala Devi for introducing resource person. I extend my special thanks to our postgraduate coordinator, Tiana, for hosting the program, and student coordinator, Jennifer, for prayer. I thank all our faculty of Commerce Department for their wonderful coordination. My sincere gratitude and special thanks to all participants for your active participation. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. All is well that ends well. It was a fruitful day one of the 7-day professional day program. And I hope you all had absorbed informative points from today's session. We shall meet again tomorrow at 4 p.m. to learn a new topic. So until then, take care, be safe, and don't forget SMS from the virus. This is Tiana signing off. Sayonara and God bless.